How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about AMC. I want to make sure I give you guys the update for this coming week. I'm getting a lot of questions, Dre. Where do you see it going? So we'll talk about it in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to take a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for AMC. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $15.80, being up 4.02%. On the low, it tested $14.97, and then on the high, testing $15.90. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 31.992 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 32.398 million shares. So we had just below the average, but not too far off, and we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 45.93. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and we're also below the 21-day EMA. So it's clear to see that AMC has been on a downtrend and it is in a bear market. But one thing that I want you to pay attention to, though, we have been forming some higher lows on our chart here. And as far as for this coming week, I would love to see AMC get to around $17.50, which would put it right here around the 50-day. Do know this is going to be an area where there could be some selling pressure, but I feel if we have a strong market conditions, we should be able to get past this 750 level. If we end up having a pullback on the Monday, where I'd want to see support hold up at the minimum will be right here at $15. I think if AMC can hold down $15, it did test a low of $14.97. It sets us up very well being able to get to that level of $17.50. If we do not decide to hold up $15, and I'm expecting that we should have some support that will hold up around $14.66. So it'll be very interesting to see how it performs for this coming week, but I see a bullish move, especially if the market conditions continue to be strong. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for AMC. So the off exchange short volume ratio is at 49.47%, and then for the off exchange short volume, it is just over 7.15 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 100,000, updated 28 minutes ago, and then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 1.48%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 17th, it was at 52.12, and then for the close of the 18th being at 49.47. So what this shows us right away, AMC does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for AMC. So we see on the inflow is at 65.26, and then on the outflow it is at 69.17. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 41.56, and then on the small it was 23.70. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 1.30, on the medium it was 45.28, and then on the small it is 22.59. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see from March the 18th we have that negative outflow of 1.3 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. But then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 6.19%. Not surprising, knowing that AMC is a volatile stock. We will continue to keep an eye on this, but what I'm seeing for this coming week, we can end up having a pullback and then seeing a further move up. I'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for AMC in regards to the price action, I would love to see it hold up $15 as an area of support. If it is able to do this, then I'm looking forward to seeing some price action going to $17.50. This is very doable. But if we end up having some profit taking, or we have a pullback in the beginning of the week, since the market has been very strong, then I want to see if we break through $15, I want to see us hold up at least above $14.66. We also have to take into consideration with the technicals, we have been forming higher lows for the past 4 trading days. So it is looking bullish. So if we have a slight pullback in that profit taking, it's not bad because it could still get us ready for that next move up. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. And then when we took a look at that order flow, we can see there's still a lot of interest on the retail side. So with all of these facts in place, I would keep AMC on your watch list. And if you are buying and holding the stock, just make sure you're not buying at the peak or at the highs of the day. It is just not necessary. I want to make sure if you are thinking about getting into a position, you're doing your homework, you're doing your due diligence, and you have a good idea of what your entry is going to be and as well as your exit. This is very important. Never go into a trade or buy a stock if you do not have a strategy. We have to make sure this becomes paramount, especially for 2022. Back in 2020 and as well as 2021, it was a roller coaster. And we know as far as retail investors are concerned for 2022, a lot of them have exited the market. So we need to have that money flowing back in, which we have been noticing as of late. So if we have a continuation of that, that's where I can see AMC seeing some even more upside. So again, do your homework, figure if this play will be right for you. But one thing that is very clear, if we continue to have strength in the market, I'm looking forward to seeing AMC move up with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs for this coming week. We'll talk soon.